Today we will see about cell signaling and its types. Cell signaling is the coordination between cells or a group of cells where they can carry the cellular responses like metabolism, differentiation, and then regulation, gene regulation, which requires the signal transduction pathway. The signal transduction pathway is the process where the signaling molecule acts as a ligand which binds to a structurally complementary site on the extracellular or a membrane bound receptors. Binding of this ligand to its receptor causes a conformational change in the cytosolic domain that ultimately induces specific cellular responses. This overall process of converting signals or a signaling molecules into a cellular response called a signal transduction. The steps involved in this signal transduction is the synthesis of a signaling molecule, then release of the signaling molecule, the transport of the signal to the target cell, which then after binding of this signal they induces some cellular functions or activates other signaling receptors, ultimately results in the binding of the signal by a specific receptor's protein leading to its activation. Initiation of a one or more intracellular transduction pathway by the activated receptors. Next, specific changes in the cellular function, metabolism or a development. And after all these changes, finally the removal of the signal, which often terminates the cellular response. These are some classes of the cell surface receptors which are discussed in this diagram. First, G protein coupled receptor, second cytokine receptors, next receptor tyrosine kinases, then TGF beta receptors, then hedgehog receptors, then WNT receptors, then Notch receptors. The G protein coupled receptor that controls the activity of an effector protein, for example adenylyl cyclase. This activates a cytosolic or a nuclear transcription factors via several pathways. Cytokine receptors associated with the cytosolic JAK kinases. Next, receptor tyrosine kinases activates cytosolic kinases like MAP kinase that translocate to the nucleus and activate nuclear transcription factor by phosphorylation. Then TGF beta receptor activates SMAD transcription factors in the cytosol by the phosphorylation. Then hedgehog receptors controls the processing of a transcription factor by proteolysis. Binding causes release of a cytosolic complex. These signaling pathways, ligand binding to a receptor leads to the activation of a transcription factors in the cytosol, permitting them to translocate into the nucleus and stimulates transcription of their target genes. Receptor stimulation may lead to activation of a cytosolic protein kinases that then translocate into the nucleus and regulate the activity of a nuclear transcription factors. Some activated receptors like GPCR also can induce the changes in the activity of a pre-existing proteins. The cell signaling system is classified into four types. It is based on the distance where they act. The endocrine signaling. In endocrine signaling, the signaling molecule acts on the target cell distant from their site of a synthesis by cells of the various endocrine organs. For example, insulin. Then paracrine signaling. In this signaling, the signaling molecule released by the cell affect the target cells only in a close proximity, or they acts on the very short distance. For example, between they acts between two neighboring cells. For example, neurotransmitters. Then autocrine signaling. Autocrine signaling, where cells responds to substance that they themselves release, means cells release ligands or a signaling molecule that binds to their own surface receptors, which activates another signaling pathway. For example, growth factors. Juxtakine signaling means some signaling molecules they don't release from their membrane, they attached to their plasma membrane. So plasma membrane attached proteins acts via direct cell to cell contact. This is the overview of the classification of the signaling system, that is endocrine system, paracrine signaling, autocrine signaling, and the signaling by plasma membrane attached proteins. This is the main component of the signaling pathway, that is receptors. The cell surface receptors bind to their ligands via their extracellular domains. The response of a cell or a tissue to a specific external signals is showed by the particular receptors by activating the different signal transduction pathway, and which ultimately results in the cellular response. Each receptor generally binds only a single signaling molecule or a group of very closely related molecules, while many signaling molecules bind to a multiple types of receptors, each of which can activate different intracellular signaling pathways and thus induce different cellular responses. In this diagram, we can see that the outer surface of the plasma membrane is toward the bottom and the receptor, each receptor is anchored to the membrane by a hydrophobic membrane spanning alpha helix, that is this is the three-dimensional structure of the growth hormone and the growth hormone receptor complex. The figure A shows uh, the 8 amino acids on the growth hormone, which is colored in the pink, contribute 85% of the binding energy. These amino acids are distant in the primary sequence but adjacent in the folded protein. While that two tryptophan residues which colored in the blue which colored by blue in the receptor contributes most of the energy for binding growth hormones, although other amino acids at the interface with the hormone are also important, which are shown in the yellow color. The next figure shows binding of a growth hormone to a receptor molecule, which is followed by the next diagram, binding of a second receptors to the opposing side of the hormone. This involves the same set of amino acids on the receptor but different residues on the hormone. Such a hormone-induced receptor dimerization is a common mechanism for receptor activation. Next, intracellular signal transduction. The various intracellular pathways that transduce signals downstream from activated cell surface receptors differ in their complexity and in the way that introduce signals. The secondary messengers are small molecules that diffuse rapidly through the cytoplasm to their protein targets. The another advantage of a secondary messengers is they facilitate amplification of an extracellular signals. Intracellular transduction pathways that transduce signals contains these secondary messenger. These are the binding of a ligands, that is first messenger, to a many cell surface receptors leads to a short-lived increase or decrease in the concentration of a certain low molecular weight intracellular signaling molecules. These molecules are also known as secondary messengers. These molecule includes cyclic AMP, cyclic GMP, DAG, that is 1,2-diacylglycerol, and inositol 1,4,5-triphosphate. Which these structures are shown in the diagrams. The elevated intracellular concentration of one or more secondary messengers following binding of an external signaling molecules triggers the rapid alteration in the activity of one or more more enzymes or non-enzymatic proteins. For example, in muscle, a signal induced rise in a cytosolic calcium triggers contraction. Similarly, increase in calcium induces exocytosis of secretory vesicles in endocrine cells and of neurotransmitter containing vesicles in nerve cells. Similarly, rise in the cyclic AMP induces changes in the cell metabolism that differ in the different types of human cells. Next, signal amplification pathways. In many signal transduction pathway, the activated receptors induces many other transduction pathways, uh, which increases the number of that targeted molecules. For example, epinephrine activates adenylate cyclase, then they amplifies, and cyclic AMP activates. After because of the cyclic AMP activation, the protein kinase A activates, which binds to enzymes, which activates that enzyme, and finally the products gives rise to cellular response. This is called amplification of signaling pathways or a signal amplification. Then ligand binding and receptor activation. The cellular response to a particular signaling molecules depends on the number of receptor ligand complexes. The fewer receptors present on the surface of a cell, the less sensitive the cell is to that ligand. As a consequence, higher ligand concentration is necessary to induce the usual physiological response than would be the case if more receptors were present. The activation of a cell surface receptor and a subsequent signal transduction are triggered by the binding of a signaling molecule to the receptor. This binding depends on the weak and non-covalent forces, that is ionic, van der Waals force, hydrophobic interactions, and their complementarity between receptors and ligands. The specificity of the receptor refers to its ability to distinguish closely related substances. That is, the insulin receptors binds only to the insulin and related hormones called they are also known as insulin like growth factors, but they can't bind to other peptide hormones. This ligand binding to a receptor or a receptor binding complex is a reversible process, or it is a reversible reaction, that is R plus L is equal to RL. Termed as a concentration of the free receptors, and L termed as a concentration of a free ligand. and RL is the concentration of the receptor ligand complex. Then KD is the dissociation constant of the receptor ligand complex, which measures the affinity of the receptor for the ligand. The maximal cellular response to a particular ligand is induced when less than 100% of its receptors are bound to the ligand. This phenomenon can be revealed by determining the extent of a response and of receptor ligand binding at a different concentrations of a ligand, which is shown in this figure. In this figure, 50% of the maximal physiological response is induced at a ligand concentration at which only 18% of receptors are occupied, and 80% of the maximal response is induced when the ligand concentration equal to the KD, that is dissociation constant value, at which 50% of the receptors are occupied. Then ligand agonist and antagonist in medicine. When a ligand binds to a particular receptors and induces the normal cellular response is called agonist. uh, and antagonists are the compounds which binds to the receptor but in not induced any response. Instead, they block the binding or a signaling by the natural ligand. For example, epinephrine. Epinephrine agonist and that is isoproterenol and antagonist alpranolol. Hmm. Isoproterenol binds to a bronchial smooth muscle cell epinephrine receptors and is used to treat the asthma, while alpranolol is binds to cardiac muscle cells where epinephrine receptors block present, which blocks the epinephrine actions and slowing the heart contraction, results in the uh, treating that cardiac arrhythmias and angina. Thank you.